Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 38 of the All Things Nerdy podcast. It is just John, aka Blind Tech, and I, Jason, aka Samarodi, for the beginning of this episode. Shane's not going to be here. Hopefully, next episode. And if Ben, aka B Major, comes in, he is going to be late. And he did not answer my phone calls as we were setting up, and I have all the rights to be mad at him for ignoring me when we agreed on 7 p.m. for the starting time.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed for not answering your phones.
Yeah.
And I tried going to my Instagram DM to call B as well, and just takes me straight to the end where it asks you whether you want to call him back or you want to go back to the DMs.
Yeah. It just sucks on how he didn't answer any of our calls.
Yeah.
So, Ben, if you're watching this, John and I have all the rights to be pissed at you for not answering our calls.
Yep.
Anyways, with that out of the way, Phasmophobia had a collaboration with Alan Wake, which was a in-game event, which I ain't gonna lie, I find that amazing, and plus, that's a pretty good collaboration for Phasmo to have if they were to have a collaboration with a different horror game. And to
Yeah.
dis- and to describe Alan Wake, for those who may not know, the best way I can describe it is that Alan Wake is a writer, and the psychological horror comes from whatever books he is writing, which that sounds like a game series I would 100% play, which I need to play the first game before I play the second if I want to dive in.
hmm And speaking of Phasmophobia, if it goes on sale and it's at the right time and when I'm going to buy the game, then I will buy the game to try it out when it
Yeah,
comes to Phasmophobia.
I know that you said that you would be on vacation for 2 weeks next Saturday, so I know that you're not going to be able to tag along for the anniversary stream.
Yep.
Which, speaking of that, if you don't see John for 2 weeks, that's the reason on to why.
hmm But if nothing's happening around the time where the podcast starts, then you may see a completely different background in my end.
Yeah, that's true. And
I'm basically going to be in the RV.
yeah, so when it comes to this podcast, it was confirmed on our socials that in this order for collaborations, it's going to be Midnight episode 39, our second collaboration with AMV God, and our first with Lewis, then Demon. And I can neither confirm nor deny if we'll have episodes ahead of time for September and October in case if I'm not the only one who would be on a 2 month hiatus. And if that happens, episode 44 would be the second catch up episode of the year, depending on how things go.
hmm
And I know that you said that you've seen Scream 7, but because of speculations I've been hearing because of how Scream 7 went down, there's speculation that there's going to be an eighth movie, but I know that there's also going to be a seventh movie for Final Destination, which that's a horror film series that I do want to watch at some point.
Mm.
And
I mean,
oh, you first?
when, whenever they come out with the eighth one, I will for sure watch it if it goes on streaming services um since my dad has I don't really remember what streaming service my dad clicked on since it's been a couple of days, but if it comes out there, I will for sure watch it.
Yeah. And I did also see that Ghostbusters is on Netflix, and if it's still on Netflix when July 20th hits, then we can have a source of watching Ghostbusters there. If not, if you have it in your server, if you're willing to do the honors on that, that would help out a lot.
All right. What Ghostbusters movie exactly? Like which
The
one?
original.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
So
just
I might.
the original that I've had in my mind when horror game season cinema starts.
Mm,
Which, speaking of that, if you guys want to join the buddy server, which will be pinned in the comments down below, in the description, it is the All Things Nerdy podcast server. But we mainly host our events in the buddy server because our community, as well as the communities of the other members of the buddies, is who we would want to have involved in our monthly watch alongs and monthly game nights. Which, speaking of game nights, we played Among Us yesterday at the time of recording, which would be 2 days ago, depending on the timing on when this video is uploaded.
mm,
And I'm not gonna lie, that community night was hella fun.
yeah.
And you know how you said that you were willing to hear me out for a controversy that I do want to talk about?
Yeah.
It's
But just to let everybody know on the YouTube side or wherever wherever you're listening to this podcast side of this, I am gonna be staying silent the whole time since I'm not really involved when it comes to all that. So
yeah,
just a heads up.
yeah. I wasn't really. Yeah, to be 100% honest, I didn't know what was going on, but then from when I asked Sage and Rue about the situation, I was like, "Yep, he's done." And to
Yep.
Yeah, and the individual that we're talking about is 10th Bandit. We've had him in the podcast in episode 22, if I remember correctly. He's the only person that I have so far regretted inviting to the podcast, which he, to keep things short and simple, he's a piece of shit. And the long version, he abused his dog. Sage was a victim of battery, which he got arrested and convicted for his crimes, which honestly, I'm happy about that. But to add salt to the wound, our friend Solzesta was groomed as a minor before they were an adult, and I was like, after I heard that shit, I was like, I am waiting for the day that this motherfucker gets his ass beat for abusing his wife and dog and for grooming a minor. Because I am heavily against pedophilia. And what was done is extremely controversial, it is fucked up, and it is unforgivable for what has happened. And I honestly hope that he gets his ass beat in prison for all the shit that he did. And if somebody ends up pulling a Ian Watkins, then who knows how many women might have been saved from him abusing any more women as a narcissist. Because what was done was fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to speak your piece about the information that I gave, speak your mind.
To me, I'm just gonna say what my opinion is, which I know we all agree with what you said, Jason. I think people like transgender should get their ass beaten like harder than everybody else's mother spanking kids with a freaking belt. Like 10 times harder than that, to be honest. Because
The belt is
rap,
abusive. Just go for the hand, but don't leave a mark.
yep, like something that does not leave any marks on them. You know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna say this much from when I mentioned pulling at Ian Watkins. What happened to him was that he was killed by two prisoners because he was a pedophile in life and his crimes were brought to light back in 2012. And I don't know how many kids might have been. And it's a good thing that God knows how many kids were saved from potential rape in the future because there was no doubt in anyone's mind that he was going to go back to his crime spree when he ends up being free, and he is burning in hell for what he's done.
Yep.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same case with 10th Bandit. Not that I like seeing people getting murdered. I don't like that at all. But if they're a piece of shit, one ass beating for them to learn their lesson is enough.
Hmm. Also, I found the Ghostbusters 1 and 2 combo on eBay for like $5, and if I want to add it to my server, I can just find a way to rip it off the CD and then store it inside of my server so we can watch it
That
if Netflix
works.
ever posts if Netflix ever posts a plug in that movie.
Yeah, so it pretty much all depends on how Netflix plays out, which, speaking of that, we can get into more details about one of their properties later in this podcast. But when it comes when it comes to collaborations, if you know a content creator by the name of Giguk, he had a collab cafe with his short anime Bon, which I don't remember the exact cafe, but I remember the exact collab cafe video it was that Ambi Richu made. I just need to go back and look after this podcast recording, but it was it was visually such a good collab cafe. And what Bon is, the premise of Bon is that it's an isekai anime, but unlike your traditional isekais to where someone dies by being ran over by a truck, they they just go through some source of a tower to go to a different world, which Dachi goes to a fantasy world. I don't remember the other character's name, but they go to the human world. But they are pretty much living like your casual humans who pretty much are job hunting as a source to support themselves, which, speaking of self-support, my Cash App card is going to be in the mail sometime today. I don't know when, but sometime today.
Mm.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, Meta has been hella sketchy throughout the past few years, especially with the fact that they have AI glasses. The fuck, man?
I agree. Like especially the Meta Ray Bans, and I forgot the other names they have with these Meta classes, but I'm honestly not a fan of that at all. Like the fact I've seen people talking about the whole facial recognition thing where they use that. I think they're trying to train the AI face recognition algorithm with these people's faces that were picked up by the cameras. coming from the meta classes. It's just stupid.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And the thing that Meta has been doing, which honestly sucks, is that they've been funding age verification, which honestly, they need to be fucking sued for this shit because nobody wants that stupid ass law.
Me neither. Yeah.
And I was caught by surprise to know that we're getting a sixth Insidious movie,
Hmm.
which I honestly do want to watch the Insidious films to see how the rest of it will play out. Which I honestly hope that the movies are good because I've been hearing a lot of people say that it is one of the scariest IPs that Blumhouse owns. And it's honestly crazy to think that it was at Halloween Horror Nights 2 years ago, and it was IP of the year at the time. Which, speaking of Halloween Horror Nights, more details about that later, so stick around for that. And you want to know how many horror reboots that we're getting in 2028?
What is it?
We're getting two, and we're getting one reboot next year, which we're getting an Exorcist reboot in 2027 and a reboot for Chucky and A Nightmare on Elm Street in 2028. And Robert Englund, who is the actor of Freddy Krueger, did say that he wants to play Freddy one last time. Which, honestly, I hope it happens because you cannot have Freddy Krueger without Robert Englund. And
Hmm.
Brad Dourif did say that nobody is going to replace him as Chucky as long as he's around. Which, honestly, I 100% agree with him because Mark Hamill, I love you, but you were not good as Chucky.
Hmm.
And as f- and do you know Jacksepticeye?
Yeah, yeah, I've seen him. I've seen him on YouTube before.
Yeah, Sony confirmed that he is going to be producing the Bloodborne movie, and it's going to be R-rated and animated as well. Which I'm honestly excited for to see how that's gonna play out because
I,
yeah,
yeah, I agree.
yeah,
I'm actually down to. I'm actually down to what he have going on with the movie.
yeah, if Markiplier can cook with Iron Lung, Jacksepticeye can cook with Bloodborne.
Hmm.
Which, speaking of, have you seen the Iron Lung movie? Because I haven't.
Well, which one?
Iron Lung?
Mm, I don't think I did.
Yeah, the Iron Lung movie is based off of the game. So it's nice to see that we're getting love for video game adaptations. Which, speaking of, I know that there's an Among Us show. I haven't watched it yet, but I've been
Me
hearing
neither.
people say that it's funny.
Mm.
And North Korea's favorite. Wait, no. South Korea's favorite punching bag, John Salami. He got sentenced to 15 years in prison for being a public nuisance and for committing God knows how many crimes. Which, with the shit that
Damn.
he did in Japan, he got legally banned from coming back to the country. And in North Korea, they're like, yup, this man is not leaving. And if he commits any more crimes, sentence his ass.
I heard something from. I heard something that if somebody commit a crime in North Korea, they do like some kind of death sentence or something like that.
I would argue that it depends on what crime you committed.
Because from what I'm hearing, I heard the punishment is a lot more harsh in North Korea than the rest of the world.
Yeah, it's in South Korea that John Salami is behind bars for. And the fact that he's been committing crimes on stream, he's just being a dumbass. He's giving himself free evidence for people to convict him for his crimes. So I'm sure that we're all in agreement that he is the world's dumbest criminal. Just giving himself
Yep,
free evidence for those who's like, "Yep, we're reporting his ass for the crimes that he committed." And honestly, he deserves to get banned on social media for the crimes he committed.
I agree.
And I would say the same case for 10th Bandit because of the shit that he did.
Yep.
Which Saikuno's controversy is not as bad, but it's still bad. Which he cheated on his girlfriend with other VTubers, but he did take accountability for it after he was called out, which is good.
Mm,
Yeah, I don't remember the rest of the details, but to think that he had the guts to cheat on his girlfriend with other VTubers and lie about being single, that's just fucking insane. So, he's pretty much a serial cheater.
mm-hmm.
And last time we were talking shit about a serial cheater was in one of the earlier episodes with Th1ngs, which, to give a recap on what happened, Killer Saw VT had evidence against her at the time, which proved that she sexually abused male VTubers and is a serial cheater. Which, what she did was fucked up, and after I saw it, I was like, yep, I am unfollowing because I want nothing to do with people like that unless if they take accountability for their actions. And from when she thought of the idea of telling her side, I was like, nope, I don't give a fuck about what you have to say. What you did was unforgivable. And if you want
Mm-hmm.
to take accountability, do say what you gotta say with your chest and mean it.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know much about the last act of the Amazing Digital Circus, but I've been hearing mixed things about it. Which I've been hearing people say that's not good, and some say that that it is good, but I just think that it's just really freaking stupid that they're saying no matter what opinion you have, you're wrong. Which I disagree, because if we like something, we like it. If we don't like it, then we don't like it. Just
It's
leave it at
personal
that.
opinions. Personal
Exactly.
opinions. Like why the like especially when people are complaining about which phone is better, which one is PC or console better. Just enjoy what fucking stuff you have in your area or what you have in your hand.
It was
To
like
me,
from
I have an
it was like
to me
from when
I
I
have
ranted about God of War Lefay from when people were calling it woke slop when it's not.
that's right, yeah. And and to me, I like both. So I have Android and iPhone. So I'm having the best of both worlds.
Yeah,
Jason has a
I have an Android, which Google Pixel 7, which is my current phone. My old one was a Samsung Galaxy A51 5G.
I was about to mention what your current phone is until you interrupted me.
Yeah, faster reaction. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know if this is still available or not, but if it's not, Taco Bell had a butter chicken taco, which
Mm.
that which I ain't gonna lie, that shit sounds good.
Oh yeah.
Bro, I would gobble the shit out of a butter chicken taco because that actually sounds good. Yeah, butter. And for those who doesn't know, butter chicken is an Indian curry. That's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah.
Which I haven't tried butter chicken before, but I do want to give it a try to see on whether or not if I like it. And as somebody who's part Indian, that's the idea of it sounds delicious.
I'm honestly willing to try anything that's out there that I haven't tried. So I'm also gonna go get it when I am out. I'm not at home because honestly, I'm not gonna pay for those fees to get it delivered. So I'm just gonna wait until I'm not home.
Yeah, so as I was looking on my Instagram for research purposes to refresh my memory, and this is an IGN post as well. There's going to be an Elden Ring movie coming out March 3rd, 2028, which it has it hasn't been confirmed nor denied on whether or not if it's going to be live action or if it's going to be animated, which I'm curious to see how it's going to look if it's animated.
Mm. Honestly, I'm looking forward for all the movies that we mentioned is coming out later.
Yeah, same. And we were watching Cyberpunk earlier this week. There's going to be a live action Cyberpunk movie called Cyberpunk Recall, which, as far as I know, it's either A, going to be a live action version of Cyberpunk Edge Runners, or B, it's going to happen at the same time as the events of Cyberpunk Edge Runners, or it could be a prequel of the show. I don't exactly know, but I hope it's a prequel to the anime.
Hmm.
And there's also a Clayface movie that's coming out this October. And to think that's going to be a horror movie too, brother, I can imagine. All right, hear me out. Clayface for Halloween Horror Nights next year.
I think that's good for next year. Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly think that it would be a good pick if they end up wanting to commit to the idea of comic book villains coming to the event again, because back in the early 2000s from they had Marvel, which they had Maximum Carnage at the time, there was controversy with how Universal approached it, and Marvel got pissed to where they're like, you cannot have Marvel at your event anymore because of how you approached it.
Mm.
And I agree with 3C Films that Universal should get the rights for Warner Brothers because I'm not 100% sure how the fight is going to go down between Netflix versus Paramount on who's going to get the rights for Warner Brothers.
I really don't think Netflix. In my opinion, I don't think it's a good idea to have Netflix with Warner Brothers because I have a really strong feeling that Netflix is going to ruin Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I also have a feeling that they're just going to not bring as much competition to cinemas and just be really freaking greedy with the streaming services, which that's why I say I hope Paramount wins the fight.
I agree with you. I agree. because we need competition, and competition is good.
Exactly.
No matter what industry, the tech industry, movie industry, wherever it is, competition is good.
Yeah, and when Mindstorm Creations Media ends up being a thing, if you want to give a competition, that's fine. Let the fans
Give
have their takes on what they like versus what they don't like. And I'm willing to take constructive criticism, which, speaking of that, I am in the process on writing Cyborg Assassin 2 Project Resurrection, which is going to be coming out in 2 weeks.
honestly, when it comes to the competition, it gives people more options to what they want to do.
Yeah, I heard one of the cats throwing hands, which if I hear it again, I'm calling them out for their shit.
Hmm.
And I was caught by surprise to know that we're getting a Spider-Man noir show on Amazon Prime, which I like the idea of the options between either watching black and white or watching the colored version. And to think that it's I want to say that it's animated or live action. I don't know, given the fact that I haven't seen the show. I do want to watch it though.
Yeah, I want to watch it as well.
And you want to know something I find funny?
Like I said,
Star Wars was having a collaboration with Trubu, and the milk is blue.
mm.
Yeah, I don't know what flavor it is, or if it's just natural milk with blue color, food coloring, but I find that pretty funny that they did that.
If it's when it comes to the blue color, I'm hoping it's just blue food. It's either the one that you said or the blue food coloring instead of the chemical ones that I would hope that someone way higher up than big corporations ban the blue something. I forget what they call it for the chemicals because in the food industry, all the chemicals that you read in the packaging is just not really good at all.
Nope, it's not.
Nope.
And I and by no one's surprise, there is a fourth season of The Legend of Vox Machina, which is one of the Critical Role shows. Which last time I was watching a Critical Role show, it was a few months ago from when we were watching The Mighty Nine, which The Mighty Nine is peak, I ain't gonna lie.
Mhm.
And what I said when it comes to Vox Machina versus the Mighty Nine when it comes to both shows, I prefer the intro of the Mighty Nine more than Vox Machina, and here's my reasoning. For Vox Machina, we just get the characters right off of the rip, not knowing much about their backgrounds, which I don't like the idea of starting right off of the rip. With the Mighty Nine, we have we have build up of when the group comes together, which that's what I like a lot more. Like I if you're going to introduce a character and introduce the idea of them becoming a group together, that the idea of them having a build up first and then joining forces together, that's the type of shit that I like about storytelling.
Mhm.
And I'm 2 seasons in so far on Vox Machina. I need to rewatch the rest of the 2 seasons before I dive into season 4. So my opinion would be invalid. And Epic Universe, which is one of the parks in Universal Studios Florida, is having its first anniversary this year. May 26th was when that park opened. And when it comes to what worlds they have based on IPs, they have How to Train Your Dragon, Harry Potter, Universal Monsters, and Super Mario. And when it comes to the idea of other Nintendo properties coming to the parks, there's speculations that The Legend of Zelda is going to be at Islands of Adventure and Pokemon being at the main park. And a good point that I brought up a few times if we get Pokemon at the parks is that having ghost type Pokemon at Halloween Horror Nights would be a wholesome way to celebrate Halloween.
Mm. Mm.
And if I was to go to the parks, Super Nintendo World and Dark Universe are the two worlds that I do want to go to when I go to Epic Universe someday. And Dark Universe has Universal Monsters, which makes it a fun idea.
I'm honestly willing to go to out of the Super Mario, the Nintendo side of the park, to be honest, since I don't think I've been there before.
Yeah, I haven't been to a Universal park, which I would love to someday. It's just I'm not 100% sure how things are going to play out exactly yet.
Mm.
And when it comes to other upcoming movies, there's going to be a Coco 2, Avatar 4 and 5, and a Battlefield movie. Which, honestly, out of all of those, the Battlefield movie is my most anticipated because to think that we're getting a video game adaptation based off of a well-known shooter game, that is going to be a fun film to watch. I ain't gonna lie.
Hmm.
And as for Coco 2, I do think that the first movie is good, but I hope that they don't pull in Incredibles 2 because Incredibles 2 was not a good sequel. And it's going to be a pain in the ass to make up for how bad Incredibles 2 was when they make a Incredibles 3. Avatar 4 and 5, I don't really care much about it because I did not like the first movie.
Honestly, I have not even watched any of those Avatar movies.
Yeah, so what you're saying without actually saying it is that your opinion would be invalid.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna say anything, but like I just said, which I haven't watched it.
De- Dead by Daylight is having its 10th anniversary this year, and they announced a lot in the broadcast from when they were announcing new content for the second half of this year to 2027, which I'm curious on how the rest of it is going to play out. Which it is nice that we're getting a texture update on how the graphics are going to look, but I'm honestly worried about how the rest of it is going to go down. Given that if you have an old PC, it might not be able to play the game properly unless if you turn down the graphics.
Yeah.
And when it comes to I'm going to focus on cosmetics first, which we're getting cosmetic collaborations of Diablo 4 and Scooby Doo. I find Scooby Doo to be pretty funny, I ain't gonna lie. And Diablo 4, it makes. I honestly think that it is a fun idea to see Diablo cosmetics in Dead by Daylight. It's just the question is who's going to get cosmetics for what survivor and what killer?
Mm.
And Jason came out this Tuesday at the time this podcast episode comes out, and during the recording, which it was 2 days ago at the time of recording, and he lived up to the hype. And Terrifier was confirmed to come to the event. Well, no, let me rephrase. Terrifier was confirmed to come to the game this November, which I am excited for that collaboration. And they're having a Frank Stone chapter in 2027, which what Frank Stone is that it's a choices matter game that is in the Dead by Daylight world, which I honestly do want to play that because I think that it would be a fun idea. And they have cosmetics for Ice 9 kills, which I honestly think that's insane. And we're also getting a new cosmetic in collaboration of Silent Hill F and a possible new chapter for The Walking Dead to where we're getting Glenn and the possibility of Negan. Which, if we get Negan, the question is, will he be a survivor or a killer? I honestly think that it would make the most sense if he was a killer, given how his character is in the comics and the show.
Mm. So by the time I'm out of the case, and if you're playing Dead by Daylight, by the time I'm home, then I mean, by the time I have a PC, if this one I have right now sells, then I'm willing to play it.
Yeah, you're also going to need to learn how to, if you need someone to teach you the ropes on how to play, I know some other content creators who can help you out on learning the ropes of how to play the game when it comes to being a survivor versus being a killer. And when it comes to whatever build you do, Eerie Moonstake said the same thing to me, and I'll say the same thing to you and everyone else. Whatever build you do, if it works for you, it's a good build. If it doesn't work, then it's a shit build. So it all
Mhm.
depends on how the build you go for works with what type of gameplay you're doing. For me, I'm somebody who does the generators and cleanses totems wherever I can find the totems. And Spirit Halloween went all out earlier today, which I released part one of my opinions on this year's lineup on my IRL channel, which we're getting a camp theme this year. And as far as we know of, the idea of the in-store experience display is going to take inspiration from Camp Crystal Lake from Friday the 13th. So I'm excited to see how that's going to play out. And I have been wanting a camp theme for a long time, and I would also love to see a temple theme someday. It's just the question is, how would they approach a temple theme, which we can cross that bridge at a later time. Not necessarily in this episode, but at some point later in the podcast.
Mhm.
And when it oh
By the time I guess it's done, we can just head over there.
yeah, and the Tampa Palms location was what I suggested from when you, me, and Angel were talking about it for two reasons. Reason one is because of how close it is away from my home, which I'm not gonna say how far for privacy reasons. And reason two is because of how big the store is. There's a good chance that the entire display is going to be there. It's just a matter of how many animatronic displays will there be in the store when the time comes. And when it comes to
Hopefully,
oh,
God.
yeah, when it comes to licensed animatronics, we have the Xenomorph from Alien, which released for halfway to Halloween, and it's going to be in stores this year. We also got Michael Myers, Ghostface, Pennywise, Ghostface from Scream 7, Pennywise license from Welcome to Derry, and it was teased that Jason Voorhees is coming to the lineup this year from the Halfway to Halloween teaser, and Freddy Fazbear it it may also come, but it does suck that he got leaked. Which one thing I'm gonna say to the Halloween community: can we have 1 year to where you guys are not leaking shit? Because it just ruins the surprise for people, and it just sucks that it happens every year, and I'm getting sick of it.
Mm.
And from when Scooby Doo was mentioned earlier, we're getting a Scooby Doo show on Netflix. No confirmed release date yet.
When it comes out, I'm gonna definitely put it in my phone and watch it, or maybe even watch it with my family in the living room.
Yeah, that's fair, given the fact that Scooby Doo is one of those properties to where anybody can watch it regardless of age.
Hmm.
And you want to know a logical theory that I brought up?
Okay.
So, you know how Shaggy is a stoner?
Hmm.
I want you to really think about it. What if what if he's putting weed in whatever he's cooking and is eating that edible?
Oh God.
Yeah, that's why he's a stoner. He's high as fuck on the weed.
Oh my goodness, this food.
It will never
What
feel the
the?
same again knowing that. Audience, you're welcome if you want to make a clip of that. It's John's reaction like, why would he put weed in his burgers, bro?
Oh my goodness.
He's also putting it in the hot dogs too.
Bro, that's terrible for picking that weed inside his food, bro. What the fuck?
Oh my god. Yeah,
the
so
fact, the fact that the fact that he did that, that's just terrible. Because if it, if he's cooking for his entire family, not the weed in everybody's body.
yeah, yeah, what if he's a dad and accidentally gets his son or daughter high with the barbecue he's been making?
Terrible.
Yeah. And I bet you that if you think about it, Shaggy's like Scoob, I'm high as fuck, man.
Yeah, that's like I said. Picking illegal substances in food is just
Yeah,
worse
I would argue that it
than
depends on what state you do it in. Because in Florida, it is illegal. In
yeah.
Minnesota, Ohio, yeah, B can legally do it because it's legal in Ohio.
Mm,
I don't know about Shane because I don't know if lead is legal versus illegal in Illinois.
might look it up though.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up as well. Where is weed legal at? Okay. Alaska, Arizona, California, Colorado. Connecticut, I don't know if I said that right. Delaware, Illinois, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, Montana, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, Ohio, Oregon, Rhode Island, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, and Washington, D.C. That is where lead is legal at. The states that were not mentioned is where it is illegal at.
Mm.
And I don't know what state the Scooby Doo gang is at, so I would argue that it depends on where they're doing it at.
Mm.
Yeah, and when it comes to other video game adaptations coming up, Death Stranding, BioShock, and Ghost of Tsushima are getting movies. And I have Death Stranding, it's just I haven't played it yet. Which I do plan on playing it for horror game season. It's just the question is, when do I want to do it?
Mm.
And as for BioShock, I don't have a full understanding on how people say it's a horror game. Ghost of Tsushima, I'm honestly excited for that. And if I remember correctly, Sekiro is getting an anime on Crunchyroll.
I do not have Crunchyroll.
Yeah. Yeah, so you
And
know. Oh,
as much as I would like to watch more of the anime, I don't wanna. I'm not gonna let another company take money off my account monthly because the subscriptions I have right now, Amazon Prime, YouTube, and I do have um the berries. I do pay monthly for the berries Patreon as well as some other content creators I like watching on YouTube since that they do have the membership thing. That's enough subscriptions for me. Since the
yep.
since the rest since the all of the movie platforms minus Amazon Prime, it was paid by my parents.
That is fair. And speaking of Amazon, it was confirmed that we're getting a third season of Fallout. It's just we don't know when it will happen yet.
I need to catch up with the episodes.
Same. I'm only 2 episodes in on season 1. And speaking of Fallout, I have empty bottles of the Fallout sodas over there.
Mm.
Yeah,
I haven't even started watching it yet, so I need to watch it before season 3 comes out if it's the right one.
yeah. You should also play the games when you get the chance to.
I think I have Fallout New Vegas,
Same.
and I haven't played much to it since I was like stuck into that one house, which I have no idea where to get out on.
Yeah, to those who's watching the video, Fallout did a collaboration with Jones's Soda Co., which they have collectible caps, which I honestly think is really freaking nice.
Oh, yeah, it does.
And my yeah, if you like Sunny D, Nuka Orange is a good flavor, but I don't like most orange flavored drinks. Nuka Orange isn't bad, it's just it wouldn't be my first pick if I was to get a pack of the Fallout sodas for myself. Nuka Cherry, bro, Nuka Cherry was really freaking good. It was
Hmm.
flavorful, and Nuka Victory Cola, that's peach and mango. Brother, that shit slapped.
Hmm. Yeah, I need to try those. I gotta try those drinks. And to be 100% honest, I don't think there's that point. I don't think I've even had it in a Sunny D, and I don't think my mom bought it or anybody that I know bought it. So I still gotta try that as well. Even though I really tried Alani's and Celsius and other other drinks.
Yeah, yeah, and I was also caught by surprise to know that we're getting a dead silence too.
Mm.
I don't know much about it, so that's just to point out. Alien Isolation 2. Okay, now this is the point to where we can get into some of the highlights of Summer Game Fest for 2026. Alien Isolation 2, bro, horror game fans are eating good because
Yep.
we're getting a second game for Alien Isolation, which I do want to try to beat the first game at some point. I I don't know where the hell I am at the beginning.
Maybe I should just buy a Steam Deck before I even afford my PC, so I can just play a game anywhere, even if I haven't saved up enough for a PC yet.
Fair.
Hmm. And if I cannot find a Steam Deck at a good price, then the second pick is going to be the ROG Ally, which it is Windows, but I can. It's a handheld PC, so I can literally put any operating system to it if I want to.
Yeah,
So
and it's honestly insane to know that. Wait, hold on. Where is the frickin' highlight? There you are. Yeah, other games that we're getting along the way from Summer Game Fest that was announced. We're getting Resident Evil Veronica, which honestly,
mhm.
I spoke too soon from when I thought that we were getting a new Resident Evil game at the time because I was like, no, I don't think we're getting a new Resident Evil game this soon. And Summer Game Fest was like, oh, you think so? Well, guess what? You're wrong.
I remember you were surprised when you were I think live streaming about the Summer Game Fest.
Yeah, bro. And to think that Hunk and Claire is in the freaking game, it feels good to have both of them. Which it
Hmm.
was already good enough that we had Hunk, and Resident Evil Pequium. We're also getting Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin. Finally, about goddamn time hearing news about that game. 1666 Amsterdam. Saw Genesis, Hot Wheels, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, Power World, The Wolf Among Us 2, and to think that the last announcement was two Final Fantasy VII related announcements, which Tifa in Street Fighter 6 was the last thing I expected. And honestly, I'm happy to see her in the game. And Yujiro from Baki joining Tekken 8 makes up for Tifa not being in the game for me.
Hmm.
And Resident Evil is getting a new movie this year, which I honestly do think that it does look good. It's just more so of how will the rest of it play out. I know that it's a reboot of the series that follows source material of the games. It's just more so of how will it be approached is the real question. And the last announcement that they made was that we're getting Final Fantasy VII Part 3, which honestly, it feels good that we're getting that next year.
Nice.
Which I do want to play the Final Fantasy VII Remake series.
I
And
gotta catch up on it. I gotta catch up on all the fantasy games when it comes to the story behind it.
I don't think that there's a chronological order on the Final Fantasy games, to be 100% honest with you, because they're pretty much just standalones.
Mm.
Which, coming to think about it, Cloud Strife, fun fact, was originally supposed to be the PlayStation exclusive for Soul Calibur 2, but it didn't happen because of licensing issues. So we
Mm.
got Heihachi from Tekken instead, which I do think it is good. It's just the question is, if we get another Tekken character in Soul Calibur 7, who would it be? I want to see Konimitsu in Tekken 8. Wait, no, sorry, in Soul Calibur 7, because I think that she would be a fitting Tekken character with the settings of the Soul Calibur games.
Mm.
And we're also getting a Pirates of the Caribbean 6, which I've seen the 5 films. Dead Man's Chest is the definitive Pirates of the Caribbean movie. And you went silent.
And well, when it comes to, I think we watched the PlayStation State of Play thing, and honestly, the fact that we also get the God of War Laffy, which I think that's how you pronounce it. Um, I think
LaFay.
I'm down to wherever it's called. I am down to play if it's on whatever platform. Only if I get myself a PS5, or even better, if they change their mind, I would gladly buy it on Steam.
Fair.
If they change, yeah, because I'm not willing to drop $300 on a console if it's used,
Yeah.
or $600, because most of the time it's gonna be collecting dust, doing nothing.
Yeah, so to the anime fans out there, Kazuo Ibasawa has unfortunately passed away, which he, as an artist, is one of the creators. Well, no, he is the creator of Demon Slayer, which he was born 1953 and passed away in 2026.
Mm.
April 14th at that. What's the cause of death? It has not
That
been
could be a.
publicly disclosed,
Mm.
but it is sad that he passed away. And it does suck that he didn't live long enough to see the end of the Demon Slayer anime.
I just found out on when it comes to my 3D printer that I have, a company called Bamboo Lab. They have, I think they discounted the printer that I have to $209
Oh, wow.
from July. Yeah, I think from June 15th to July 15th, which is the window where the sale happens. And I think the bigger model, I think it's called a P2S or something like that, which is random numbers and letters combinations to be the matter numbers. I think there's one for like $500, $600, including with the system where you can switch what color plastics or filament you want to add to your print. And honestly, if I save enough during the sale times, then I might pick up one of the more bigger ones so I can put bigger 3D prints.
Yeah,
Because there's a lot of things I want to print, but I'm limited by the bed size of my current printer. But even if I buy a brand new one, I'm not gonna retire my current one, mainly because if the bigger one is busy printing something else, I can use the smaller one to print smaller things.
yeah. And there And before we get back into positive stuff, there's two more people I want to pay tribute to. Ted Turner, who passed away at the age of 87, which from when he was alive, he was the mastermind behind Cartoon Network, and Roger Sweet, who is the creator of He-Man. Which Roger Sweet passed away at the age of 91. And back to the positive stuff. Ben 10 is having its 20th anniversary, and Terminator 2 is having its 35th this year. Which, to be 100% honest, I haven't seen a whole lot of Ben 10, but it's nice to know that it's having its 20th anniversary this year. But to think that Terminator 2 is having its 35th, I'm not even.
Mm.
I'm t- I'm 22 in 2 months, and I feel old. I'm
Yeah.
too young to feel old, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm already 22. By like like late last month, early this month. Like I think May 30th is the time where I turned 22. And honestly, I'm also going to start feel. I'm already starting to feel old.
Yeah, yeah. There was one time back from when I was a teenager that my spine was not growing the way that it was supposed to, which it's fine now. It's just there was one phase to where my spine was growing weirdly to where the top side of my chest was like bending a certain direction where it was not supposed to go there.
Mm.
And at the time I went to Costco after I came back from your place, I saw that Skinny Pops was doing a collaboration with Harry Potter and Pirates Booty Popcorn collaborating with Pokemon to where we have
Mm.
Pikachu shaped popcorn, which I honestly find that pretty cute, to be 100% honest. That's a fun idea for popcorn.
Yeah.
And I don't know much about the Pokemon Target drama, which it's just freaking insane to know that there is drama. I think it's related to Pokemon cards, to where there are people fighting over it. I don't know.
Speaking of that, speaking of that, I've seen Target trying. There's I've seen a video from someone on YouTube where um scalpers are mad at Target because they ripped the the plastic thing around the Pokemon cards, which is gonna lose a shit ton of value on the packaging itself.
Yeah,
And honestly, good for Target because fuck scalpers. I hate him so fucking much. Like they're trying to take advantage with innocent people that has done nothing wrong.
yeah, they did the right thing if they call you out for your shit. And if
Hmm.
these scalpers got banned for the shit that they did and got arrested for the crimes they committed, props to Target for doing that. Because I would have done the exact same thing to where I'm like, you're hey, for the shit that you did, you're banned from coming back from this place. And plus, we're gonna call the police on you for the crimes you committed.
Well, the thing is, eBay and other platforms that has other scalped items, it's a free market, so I don't think there's anything you can do about it other than having stores banning scalpers. You know.
That is a good point.
And I'm really hoping that Walmart, Amazon, like no matter what retail store, even Steam, well, I think Steam has the whole reservation system with the Steam controller, and hopefully do the same thing with the Steam machine, which is the cube, like the desktop version, that is like a lot more powerful than the Steam Deck. I really hope, no matter what retailer or company it is, I hope they ban scalpers or at least find a way to prevent it.
Yeah, speaking of the Steam controller, that's what we were gonna talk about. So what a fucking coincidence. What a segue into the next topic.
Bro, I am at some point I'm going to buy the Steam controller. Like, I really want to have a piece of Valve's hardware
Yeah,
because Valve is like the best company in my opinion. Besides the whole controversial thing about, I forgot, like the whole payment things, like a lot of going on with lawsuit, not lawsuit. I mean, going on with Valve and other companies.
yeah. I have a wired Xbox One controller and it's still good to this day, so I'm good with what I have. I don't need a Steam controller.
I mean, I don't need it either, but I want it.
Yeah, my controller is plugged in on a hub splitter, which I have it turned off whenever I'm not using it and turned on when I am using it.
Mm,
And also, new addition for those who hasn't seen it, I have a toy wakizashi on my chair.
mm.
And there's also duct tape on the top side of the blade because from when I was sparring with somebody with the prop weapons that I had, one of them accidentally broke this sword. So the duct tape is on there to keep it in place, which it does
I mean,
suck that it got broken,
I mean,
but
you could use super glue because that's what my dad does when the toys that my siblings has breaks accidentally. My dad used super glue to get it back together.
yeah. Fast and Furious is having its 25th anniversary this year, and Universal Studios Hollywood is making a Fast and Furious themed roller coaster to celebrate the occasion.
But not gonna lie, I am I'm really excited to see the Fast and Furious themed roller coaster. Like whenever it comes ready, I'm going there.
Yeah, yeah, you would need
'Cause-
to save up a lot of money if you end up going to California just for that.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, yeah, like matter of fact, if I can, I'm saving up money to go to Halloween Horror Nights and next year's Trans World Halloween show.
Hmm. And it would be even better if the Fast and Furious ride is in Florida, because
It'll be in
there's
Florida in
there's
2027. Wait, no, somewhere in 2028. I'm not 100% sure.
because th- there's a very like a tiny chance that I might be able to go to California because if it's just that, then I might as well just wait until they come to Florida. You know.
Yeah, I see your point. And yet, you covered this before in the podcast. Wait, no, you covered this in your individual channel. It's not Steam's fault, but it does suck that we got a price increase for the Steam Deck. And we all know what piece of technology is to blame for it.
The RAM and the
Unwanted
SSDs.
AI.
Yep, the AI, the data centers too.
Yeah, which speaking of that, Ohio is banning data centers.
Props to Ohio. Like these fucking data centers gotta stop because you know what these data centers are being built for? They're trying to help the government control us. Like similar to what China has been doing to their citizens.
Yeah, that's just not good at all. And Florida sued OpenAI for this shit.
good.
Yeah, that's honestly really damn good. Props to both
I'm glad
Ohio and Florida. Ohio for banning data centers. Props to Florida for suing AI.
OpenAI, just for correction, you said, you know.
I know.
And I would hope that even though that Florida sues OpenAI, I would also hope that Florida bans it because we do not deserve to have our data center next to either, or matter of fact, both of our houses here, or everybody's house out there that is watching or not watching this podcast. Like,
Yet.
come on, we do not want surveillance. We do not want to be controlled. Let the government. We gotta tell the government to leave us alone, especially our technologies, our
Exactly.
phones, even cars. Because I heard something really bad about 2027 cars going on.
Yeah, and to think that the UK is doing this across their entire country, that is just so fucking controversial, man.
This is this just pisses me off when I'm hearing all those surveillance and ID stuff. And when it comes to surveillance, I heard something that if you are impaired to drive or you're going to your car really fast, if let's say somebody is going to attack you or whatever, the car is not going to. I think the car has something where it watches you. So if you're impaired to drive, it will not let you start. And they have all those tracking features that nobody likes at all.
That is stupid.
It's just people just buy an old car. Don't buy a brand new 2027 car, even if you have the money. Matter of fact, get an older car that does not have any of the tracking features and upgrade the parts that's within it. If you know how to upgrade your parts of the car, or heck, even take it to the take it to
Yeah,
the
I'm gonna
mechanic.
stop you right there because we're getting too far into a controversial topic.
Alright.
Yeah, nothing against you. It's just more so of we've spoken enough, and if we said any any more than what we already said, then we would get sidetracked really fast, and we don't want any more politics in the podcast.
Alright. I'm just talking about the cars, not like
I know.
the law side of things.
I know. It's just more so of I don't want to say any more than what I already said because don't get me wrong, it is nice to give awareness about the situation, but I don't want to end up being on on that side of the controversial side of the internet.
Alright.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, Fire Emblem Virgin Weaves. I am honestly curious on how that's gonna play out because the Fire Emblem games. One of the Fire Emblem games that I do want to play is Awakening and Fates, which they're both on 3DS.
Mhm.
Yeah, given the fact that we don't have much knowledge about Fire Emblem, we can't really talk about that much. But Wolverine, however, from when I saw the gameplay, I was like, okay, Wolverine for Mortal Kombat 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we were to get a Marvel character in Mortal Kombat, Deadpool or Wolverine would be a fitting pick.
I agree. And whenever the next Mortal Kombat game comes out, I'm gonna buy it. Like, hopefully, well, depending on my finances, I'm either gonna buy it full price or as long as it's not over $60. Or even better, if I can find it on a sale.
Fair. Yep. I'm gonna make this prediction. I think Quan Chi is the next pre-order bonus for Mortal Kombat 13. And here's where my thinking comes into play. We've gotten Goro for MKX, Shao Kahn for Mortal Kombat 11, and Shang Tsung for Mortal Kombat 1. So if you think about it, I think Quan Chi is next because he is one of the only Mortal Kombat and villains who is important to the plot of the games who hasn't had their spotlight as a pre-order bonus yet. Which he has had the spotlight as one of the antagonists before in one of the Midway era games.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was Mari or Dina, but one of them was scratching on the chairs.
That's not good.
Yeah, no, we have. Yeah, I don't think it's Nina because I saw her scratch on a scratching post. Which, bef- before we get into the next topic, there's a wholesome story that I do want to tell, which is that from a few days ago, at the time I was going to make myself food, me, B, and Sinnoh were playing Dead by Daylight for the Jason update, and after we wrapped up, I went to let my mom know, saying, "Hey, I am ready to learn the ropes on how to make baked pork," which it was good. I ain't gonna lie, but in the process, my mom and stepdad wanted to introduce me to a new cat who goes by the name of Ray, which Ray was named after one of the characters from Neon Genesis Evangelion. And the first thing that Ray did was that she ran towards me and jumped on my leg. And as she had uppies, I was given the opportunity to hold her, and she was making biscuits on my chest. And I was like, that is hook, line, and sinker for me because it was
That
so
is
freaking
beautiful.
adorable. And she's
So
also a rescue cat because a sheriff rescued her from a crime scene. And from when my mom saw her before she was introduced to the rest of my family, she was like, I want this cat because Mari is the sole survivor of her siblings. So it's nice to know that she's getting a new sibling, which means that we have 5 cats in the house. Which there's Mari and Nina and Biscuit, which you've met these 3 cats before. Hercules is my sister's son. So and Nina is my niece, and yes, I am a cat uncle. And I'm also a cat brother too. So that means that we have 5 cats in the house, but Biscuit is living in my parents' room right now because of health issues that he's been having. And even if it
mm,
feels a bit unfair for him, it's the best place for him to be at for the time being because we all know that even after he was taken to the vet to be taken care of, his time is almost there, and it does suck. And I'm gonna miss the guy when he's gone. And last time I lost one of the pets in the house, it was Otis back from August 2024, which he passed away of an old age at the time.
mm,
Yeah, it honestly sucked, and I miss him a lot. He was a dog who was a lovable dumbass, and Biscuit is the same way because he adopted his Ike.
yeah.
He do- he adopted the acting like a dumb pet persona after Otis passed away. And I'm not 100% sure which of the cats would be next if that ends up being the case. And I did mention that I am getting a custom wardrobe in this a few episodes ago in this podcast, but I do also have a cat desk bed in my throne that's $30, which $30 is a good price for a cat desk bed, which I'm debating on whether or not if I want to have it on the left or the right side if I was to get that cat desk bed. And when that time happens, either Nina, Mari, or Ray can be on the cat desk bed. I don't know about Hercules though, because he is a sweetheart, yes, but he's a shy cat.
Mm. And maybe you can have one of your cats in your streams when you have a cat next to you.
Yeah, that is a good point. It's just the question is which cat? Which I honestly think that it would be a cute and wholesome idea to have Ray next to me, given the fact that Ray is a kitten, which she is at some point going to be taken to the vet again to get her rabies shots, which she is recovering, which we do got to be gentle with her shoulder right now. But I'll still be gentle even after she recovers. And
Mm.
what I find crazy is that from Marvel Talk On, I knew Doctor Doom was coming, but the other characters I didn't expect to see is Magneto, Green Goblin, and Carnage. And Carnage being voiced by Colin Goth, that's a really good casting choice. And he
Hmm.
was everywhere in the Five Nights at Freddy's fandom when it comes to voice acting. And Steve Bloom voices Green Goblin in the game, which, to be honest, that's a really good pick because Steve Bloom is really scary as Green Goblin. And before we get to the rest of State of Play, we talked about Alien Isolation 2. We talked about Resident Evil Veronica. We talked about Assassin's Creed Black Flag's remake. We talked about Saw Genesis. We talked about the Hot Wheels game. And when it comes to The Wolf Among Us, I'm honestly happy that we got news about the game and to think that we're getting a remaster later this year before we get The Wolf Among Us 2 next year. I honestly think that it's going to be pretty damn good.
Hmm.
Yeah, I already mentioned the Baki crossover, which there is a lot of video game news that we can talk about, which when we get after we talk about the state of play, which one thing I want to get out of the way really quick, I saw an advertisement on Discord where Monopoly Go is having a crossover with Simpsons. Honestly, not surprising given how many crossovers that Monopoly Go, well, Monopoly in general has been having, but it's nice to see that Simpsons is having a collaboration.
Yep.
Yeah, Rayman Legends Retold, given that title, that tells you that it's a remake. And honestly, I'm happy to see the Rayman fans getting a remake of the game. Bancho the Chef, that honestly looks like a fun game. Kimori being a game where you fight yokai, that's badass. And to no one's surprise, we got news about Tomb Raider Phantom Blade Zero still looks freaking sick. I'm excited for that game. And we got an update for Dune Awakening. And Onimusha, The Way of the Sword is coming out later this year. I'm excited for that. I want to play the game series before I dive my head into the game. Hang on. Alright. Can you hear background voices or no? I turned down my
No,
mic.
not as of now, but if I do, then I'll let you know.
Alright, gotcha. I turned on my mic because I don't want my parents' voices accidentally getting picked up. And plus, as useful as noise suppression is on OBS, it's not good.
Mm,
Which I hate the idea of having noise suppression on my mics because 9 times out of 10, they're not good.
yeah.
We're getting a remaster of Dynasty Warriors 3, which I don't know much about the Dynasty Warrior series, so I can't say for certain on how excited I am. Ace Combat 8, no one, not surprised that we're getting news about that. I thought that it was going to be a new Resident Evil game, but it's not. But it does look like that it would fit in the Resident Evil universe with the art style and the idea of the game.
Hmm.
And Silent Hill Townfall, brother, I'm excited for Silent Hill Townfall. Like, matter of fact, I want to see Silent Hill return to Halloween Horror Nights again sometime in the future. Which, if I know my history correctly, it was at the event in 2012.
Oh, nice. That's like more like probably 14, 15 years ago.
And Resident Evil was in Orlando back in 2013, which honestly, and it's speculated that it's coming to Horrors Unleashed, which is a all year round Halloween Horror Nights at Las Vegas.
Mm.
Yeah, Control Resonance. I am curious on how that game is going to go down. Marathon having its Nightfall update. I know that Marathon is a shooter game. I don't remember on the top of my head if it's PvP or PvE, but I prefer PvE more than PvP, to be honest.
Honestly, PVE, I agree because PvP, I think there's a lot of like people who does the cheats in the PvP games
And
to the
don't
point where it's
even
like
get me
unfair.
started with how bad toxicity is. It is really fucking bad how toxicity can be in shooter games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, what caught me by surprise the most in State of Play is that we're getting an Until Dawn 2. And I was like, wait, what? What's the premise of Until Dawn 2 is that there are content creators who fake their content acting like that they're seeing horror, but when their friend group is dying, that's when they actually see the horror. Being like, the look on my face said it all. And to the audio listeners, the silence was all you needed to hear to know how they would be like in 2027. And as for God of Lore Lefay, brother, words can't describe how excited I am for God of Lore Lefay.
Same.
Yet there are people saying that it's a spin-off. I don't think it's a spin-off. I think it's background lore of what happens in the main series if you think about it.
Hmm.
Which God of War 2018 that game got Game of the Year back in 2018's Game Awards, so that tells you it's good. God of War Ragnarok, that game was peak. And Odin was such a good antagonist in that game. I ain't gonna lie. And to think that we're getting other gods from other mythologies and that where we're at, the every win is the afterlife of the gods, I'm like, holy shit, this game is going to be peak. Because there's something for everyone who is a sucker for folklore. And I honestly thought that the Oni character, Betsy, I thought he was Japanese from when I first looked at his design, given the fact that Onis are traditionally Japanese, but nope, he's Mongolian. And I haven't seen Betsy in a video game before, which that is a badass design for the character. Like, let me pull it up real quick. What's your honest thoughts on God of War: The Face so far? Which
I think, to me, I think it's gonna be a. I think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna like it, but by the time I will, by the time I play the game when it comes out, because
yeah,
the oh damn,
yeah, look at this design, bro. Fucking
holy shit,
sick.
yeah.
Whoever made this design cooked, bro. They were in the kitchen with that design. That is such a badass design.
Anyways, like I said, I am extremely excited for the God of War. Love you, I
LaFay.
love yeah. Um, and like I said before, if it's not coming out to Steam, then I might drop $300 on a PS5. But there's a good chance that it's going to be collecting dust unless I play the game that I'm excited for. So, and then if it comes to Steam, well, great. I can just stay on my PC and play it, and not have to worry about dropping $300 on a PlayStation.
Yeah, to be 100% honest, the sole purpose of the why I do want to get consoles for my setup is to play the console exclusive games if I want to play that game in question.
Hmm.
And when it comes to Halloween Horror Nights, the two IPs that are confirmed so far is Sinners and Stranger Things. And I'm excited for both of them. So far, Sinners is my most anticipated IP, given that I don't know much about season 5 of Stranger Things, given that I haven't seen the fifth season. But I'll say this much about the show: season 4 was peak.
To me, I don't think I watched Sonos, but I did watch Stranger Things. So I'm basically like the opposite.
Fair.
So I've watched from season 1 to season 5. I think my most anticipated is Stranger Things.
Yeah. If you want to watch Sinners when you and I are both free, let me know before July 16th because I will happily watch the movie. It is, and there are people that have been saying that it is one of the best vampire movies of this decade, and I 100% agree. The best way I can describe it without giving spoilers is that it's vampires in the Jim Crow era.
Mm,
And Michael B. Jordan did really good as both of the twins, which my favorite between the twins is Stack.
mm.
And Halloween Horror Nights is having its 35th anniversary this year, which I find that fucking insane. And
Yeah.
Stranger Things as a show is having its 10th anniversary this year. And to think that we're getting a house based off of season 5, I honestly think that's a good send off for the IP, and plus to pay tribute to the factor of Stranger Things having its 10th anniversary. Which I do want to get
Yep.
another Hellfire Club shirt, but this time get one in adult large. Which I honestly don't care if I get a white or a black, but if it ends up being a white raglan like how Eddie Munson rocks out, I would be dripping this shit out. Like, matter of fact, I'm wearing distressed cargo pants right now, which John has seen it in person from when we did
Yep.
24 Hours Together Part 1. And to think that we're getting a Cuphead game that's in an 8-bit style, that's honestly awesome. I'm
Hmm.
excited for the Mighty Cuphead adventure.
Yeah. I honestly, I'm honestly very excited to play that game as well.
Yeah,
Which they when it comes to like the whole series and like you said, there's nothing on order when it comes to Final Fantasy. Is that the same case with Cuphead?
what was that?
I said when it comes to me saying I gotta catch up with Final Fantasy, and you told me that there's no order when it comes to that game. Is that the same case with Cuphead?
Yeah, for Cuphead, if you for the main game, play the base game first and then play the DLC. And it's safe to say that
Okay.
the Mighty Cuphead adventure is a standalone.
Mm.
Yet the DLC for the game is a sequel to what happens to the base game, which honestly makes the DLC fun. And to
Pretty sure
think,
there's. I'm pretty sure it's on Steam though.
yeah, it is on Steam, and I think it's $10 if I remember correctly. Let me check. I
It's
do not.
20. It's $20 for the base game.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
too bad.
Yeah.
And the DLC,
That's- Hold
yeah,
on.
and the DLC is $8, so you're looking at $27 with the base game plus the DLC.
And good thing it's also compatible with my MacBook. So if I don't have my PC or I haven't getting a Steam Deck yet, it's also compatible with my MacBook.
That's good. Which I would 100% be down to play with you. Which, to be honest, I don't know if I want to play as Cuphead or Bugman, which I'd be down for either or.
Mm.
Yeah, Gundam. Yeah, Gundam having a new game is honestly insane. And the moment that I recognized the design of the mech, I was like, yup, that's Gundam. Because Gundam is one of the most well known mecha franchises to exist.
Hmm.
And Star Wars Galactical Racer, it's a Star Wars racing game. What else would you expect judging by the title of the game?
Of course.
Yeah, End of Abyss. I don't remember what End of Abyss is, but Last Harbor, I'm excited for Last Harbor.
Hmm.
Oh, it's a sci-fi horror. No wonder I don't. And it's on PlayStation 2?
Damn.
And it's also on pre-order on Epic. Well, I know what I'm buying on Epic. And Virtual Fighter, that's a fighting game series, but and it's safe to say Virtual Fighter Crossroads is a spin-off to the fighting game series. And I honestly don't know what Virtual Fighter game I want to play exactly yet. So it pretty much all just depends. RuneScape Dragon Wins. I am honestly excited for that game, especially as somebody who is interested in the idea of wanting to play RuneScape. It's just with the art style of the old games, it's not for me to be 100% honest because there are other games that do look better when it comes to the old art styles, when it comes to the old games. Like Wizard 101, for example, that game is nostalgia for me.
Mhm.
And from when I saw this, I predicted it. Princess Marin and Aoife of the Grove is excited for Guild Wars 3. Which, to be 100% honest, I was like, no freaking way we're getting a Guild Wars 3. Yeah, Blood of the Dawnwalker, that game is fucking badass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a vampire game too, which honestly makes it better.
Mhm.
And you know how I mentioned we were playing Among Us yesterday?
Yep.
There's a there's a new game, Among Us Story on Guard, which it's a story-based game for Among Us, which I'm excited for that. And to think that there's an Among Us show that is a Paramount Plus original, when I have free time, I need to sit down and watch it.
Yeah. Same. Plus, I may need my parents' Paramount account to my phone so I can watch the Among Us. So,
Yeah, you could also watch it on your laptop if you wanted to.
well, I don't have it on my laptop either. The Paramount account. 'Cause I'm not willing to pay my money for it, to be honest. Since I told you about, I have enough subscriptions going on.
Fair. Yeah, Wolver. And I honestly, I was caught by surprise to know that Cyberpunk Edge Runners is having a collaboration with Wuthering Waves, which I don't really care about gacha games very much, but it was a surprise to see it.
Mm.
And Sword of Legends is a new Souls-like game, and we didn't see. And they were like, "Oh, you think we're gonna see a trailer? Nope, we're showing you gameplay." And honestly, the gameplay looks really damn good. I'm excited for that game. Power World has had its 1.0 update, and I'm curious on how Stellar Blade Blood Rain is going to play out. Which I don't know if it's a sequel or if it's a spin-off, given that I am a stranger to Stellar Blade lore-wise, but I'm and by no one's surprised because of the fact that people say that this is a Gunner bait game. There were NSFW animations made of it.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get into details about that. I'm just gonna leave it at that and say no more than what was already said. Yeah, and Sonic Crossroads has had collaborations with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Avatar Legends, Angry Birds, Godzilla. and Evangelion, which I ain't gonna lie, that's a packed lineup of crossovers.
Mm-hmm.
Which, and to think that the Avatar collaboration is for the promotion of the Avatar fighting game, that's honestly good marketing to think about it.
Yeah, it is.
And a Pico Park approach of a Sonic game, I'm curious on how that's going to play out. Which I know that Pico Park is a team based game. And we can also get into details about the rest. What we can get into details about the Xbox showcase for June 2026, and then get into details about the Nintendo Direct for June 2026,
Mm-hmm.
which we already talked about Fire Emblem, so we can scratch that out. But
Honestly,
Persona 6. Persona fucking 6. It's insane that we're getting a Persona 6. And it's about time that we get new Persona content. All
yeah.
we've gotten was a teaser, but you know what? I vibe with the teaser. And we're getting a remake of Persona 4, which I am excited for both Persona 6 and the remake of 4.
I got a lot of stuff to catch up on, and especially Persona.
Yeah, there same case with Final Fantasy. There's no chronological order on how the games are played, but 5 is the best one. And I am with DA Games on saying that I am stoked for Gears of War E Day, which it was confirmed that it is going to be a prequel to the first game. And I'm excited for that.
I know you said about scratch the whole scratch that to the whole Xbox thing and the whole Nintendo thing, which I know, which I have not watched the Xbox one, but I know they're releasing like the a different version of, well, not a different version, but like the aesthetic wise, they made like the Xbox, the original Xbox look of the Series X with those transparent body designs.
Yeah,
That's just the
they did
cosmetic.
that as a way to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Xbox.
Hmm. But it's still going to be on that horrible price. So if you're gonna buy it, go ahead, people. Because to me, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not spending $600 $700 on a freaking console.
yeah. I would rather spend 300 to 500 if I was to get a console.
I agree.
700 is too much.
If I want to get it used, then 250 or maybe 200, depending on what console it is.
Yeah. And I don't know much about Fable, but it is nice that we're getting a show. And I was caught by surprise to know that we're getting a new Halo game called Halo Campaign Evolves, because I thought Halo Infinite was going to be the end of it, but nope. Camp Judging by the name Campaign Evolves, I think that we're getting a remake of the first 4 games.
Mm.
Which we technically already did with the Master Chief Collection, but it's nice to see that it's happening. Or it could also be a prequel. We'll never know.
We will see where time goes on.
Yep. And it's nice that we have a complete trilogy of State of of State of Decay, which means we have a State of Decay 3.
Hmm.
Which all that I know is that it's a zombie apocalypse survival game. So can't really make much of a comment. Metro 2039, I don't know much about the series, but it's nice that we're getting a new game, and you'd be caught by surprise about this, but we're getting a Minecraft Dungeons 2.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Minecraft
I have.
Dungeons 2, I did not expect that, but I'm excited. And to think
Well,
that the game is gonna feel like Diablo, that honestly that makes me want to play the freaking game because Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction was the first ever video game that I have played. So I have a
mm.
soft spot for Diablo.
So when it comes to Minecraft Dungeons, I do have the Minecraft Dungeon, the first one, back when I used Windows as my personal system. But then when I moved to Linux or my MacBook, which is the one I'm using right now, it's not compatible with both of them, which frustrates me. So the only way I can get it is to spend another $30 on Minecraft Dungeons on Steam and use a compatibility layer on Linux to play that game, which is stupid. Like, why can't they just make the game for both Windows and Linux? Maybe even Mac altogether. If somebody does not want to spend $30 on Steam,
Yeah, that is a fair point.
because not everybody has a Steam account. Like, I know maybe majority, but that the small amount of people who doesn't have Steam or doesn't have access to Steam can just buy the game from Microsoft and then play it right after Minecraft launcher.
Yeah. And I'm honestly happy that we're getting DLC for Doom the Dark Ages.
Yeah,
Yeah, bro. I thinking about it, it's making me want to play Doom. Like, and because of the fact that this is the chronological order of the remake series of the Doom games, The Dark Ages is a prequel to the 2016 remake, and Eternal is a sequel. So the chronological order is Doom The Dark Ages, Doom 2016, Doom Eternal. I
I have the
honestly want to
Doom
play it.
Eternal. I have the Doom Eternal game.
And you want to know something I want to get Doom related if I can find it for a reasonable price? I want to get the Chainsaw Shield.
Mm.
Like, I want to find the Chainsaw Shield, and if I can throw it in my throne, I'm saying, fuck it, I'm doing it. And your cousin did say that he's excited for the new Spyro game, Spyro A Realm Beyond.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I honestly don't know if it's going to be a continuation or a remake or a prequel, but it feels nice to know that we're getting a Spyro game. Which the only Spyro games that I played was Season of Fire and Season of Ice, which I
Hmm.
haven't beaten any of the games. And Trash Taste, which is another podcast, recently celebrated their 6th anniversary with the 6th annual Trash Taste Awards, which I ain't gonna lie, I'm happy for Sea Dog VA, Giguk, and the Anime Man that their podcast has been around for 6 years.
Hmm.
And I was also caught by surprise to know that we're getting a new Xenoblade game, Xenoblade Genesis, given that we got Xenoblade Chronicles 3 4 years ago.
Oh, nice.
And we also have a new Final Fantasy game, another one at that, which I don't know where it would be, which I'm sure that this is a standalone Final Fantasy Resonance, which we return to the pixel art of the game series, which I ain't gonna lie, that sounds like fun. Because if the pixel art is good, I'm a sucker for pixel art in video games. And we're also getting a new Dragon Quest game, Dragon Quest Monsters The Withered World, which that's honestly awesome to see.
Honestly, for all the games that we mentioned in this podcast, I'm really excited to play it.
Yeah. Dragon and I am honestly surprised that we're getting a new Splatoon game, Splatoon Raiders, but it's a PvE adventure game, which honestly is awesome.
But it's more of a, I think, a Switch 2 exclusive instead of a Switch 1 or Switch OLED.
Yeah, that's the one thing that sucks about it.
Like, like, bro, like I have a fully working Nintendo Switch. Let me play the new games on this. Come on,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
like even if it's
I've known that Kingdom Hearts 4 has been real for some time. It's just they were like, all right, we're not ready to give news about Kingdom Hearts 4 yet, but we'll drop the ball in 2026. And I'm happy that we're getting news about Kingdom Hearts 4.
nice.
Yeah, I honestly do want to play the Kingdom Hearts games when I either A get a chance to buy it or B when someone gifts it to me. Which speaking of, my Cash App card it has a good chance that it's in the mail given the fact that 2 days ago I've gotten an email saying that my Cash App card was going to arrive around today.
Mm.
And as somebody who's grown up with the original, I am excited for the remake of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. This game, the fact that we can revisit our childhood in this game, bro, just take my fucking money at this point. I will happily play this remake because I love Ocarina of Time. And I would even go as far as saying that it is the best Zelda game without a doubt in my mind, and a lot of Zelda games agree with me. And there are some that say that Majora's Mask is better, which I disagree with on the Majora's Mask part. And I'm gonna say this much, and I'll say it again: the Majora's Mask manga is better than the game, and I will die on that hill.
I'm gonna fill up my water bottle real quick.
All right, no worries, man. While we are at this moment, while John refills his water bottle, I would like to plug this really quick. But if you would like to get yourself a snack, make sure you use code Th1ngs to get yourself 10% off at smackinsunflowerseeds.com. And that's pretty much all that I want to say. And yeah, from when I mentioned that I'm excited for Cyborg Assassin 2 Project Resurrection, I am also in the process on working on Investigator's Revenge in the background, but you'll get the first 3 chapters of Cyborg Assassin 2 Project Resurrection which words can't describe how excited I am. And when it comes to the idea of the rest of the podcast, we did confirm on our socials that in this order, we're collaborating with Midnight Moonflower, which will be in the next episode. And then episode 40 will be collab 2 with AMV God. And then we'll do our usual topic based episodes of the podcast, nerdcore based stuff, as well as shed light on whatever controversies finds itself on the internet and all of that jazz. Welcome back, man.
I am back. Yep. And when I was filling out my water butter, I saw my mom making some chicken fried rice.
Yeah, funny you say that. I had yeah, yeah, I had chicken and noodles back in Sunday, but it was supposed to be chicken noodle soup, but the broth just doesn't go well with noodles, which is why I usually don't like having noodles in my soup. If I want to eat noodles and soup, I'll just have them as two separate things, unless if it's ramen. Ramen is ramen is the only way you can have soup and noodles.
Mm. I mean, it's everybody's different. I mean, everybody has different tastes. To me, noodles and ramen, to me, they're both good to me.
Yeah, ramen is the only way I would have noodles in my soup.
Mm.
And I was got yes, yeah, Cyclops from the X-Men is in Marvel Rivals, and he's voiced by Ray Chase, which it does feel nice to see that we're getting some X-Men love in Marvel Rivals. And I'm still hoping that we can see Thanos in Marvel Rivals. Same case with Green Goblin. It's just a matter of who would be the voice of Green Goblin and how would Thanos' gameplay be in Marvel Rivals.
Speaking, when it, okay, there's one thing that I want to put up that I saw on Facebook. Even though that I do not play, even though that Jason and I don't even play Fortnite at all, but I heard just news for somebody who likes to play that game but wants to be on Linux. Um, Epic Games is actually hiring people to make the Fortnite game work on Linux, which is a plus for those who really likes that game but hates Windows. That's just news for some people who haven't heard about this, apparently. And it's a good thing that more and more people are switching over to Linux, and we're now hopefully seeing more developers support that operating system
Yeah.
rather than just staying on Windows.
Yeah, that's something I do want to do for Mindstorm Creations Media, to where if you're a PC user, I do want to try to have it to where any operating system can handle it. And if it ends up being on console, I would 100% be down to do it for PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. It's just a matter of how would it be handled is the real question.
Hmm.
And from when my mom and I had a conversation about it last Thursday, the only time I would charge money for content is if it is a single player story based game, and if it was for DLC being cheaper and the games being at most $30 and 5 at least. So a $25 gap bet- between pricing depending on the project in question.
Hmm.
Yeah, Atsume, who is a Japanese voice actor, he's been under controversy, but he did get arrested for what he did, which, long story short, he's a pedophile who raped a child 30 times.
Oh, that's terrible.
That is terrible. I'm glad he got arrested for his crimes.
I
Because,
agree.
yeah, once is bad enough. More than twice? You are fucked in the head if you're going to do that.
Hmm.
Ow.
People is
Mm,
just people keep being a dumbass at this point.
yeah. And their studios being like, we're not gonna work with this man anymore because we didn't know that he was this level of a douchebag.
Hmm.
And before we get angry and sad, I'm pissed at YouTube for being fucking greedy with the FIFA ads and
Oh
promote.
yeah, I just watched a video about that from Deep Humor I think
Bro,
yesterday. Yeah,
YouTube, why are you doing this shit to us? Just stop doing that shit towards people who are not related to sports. Calm
I
the fuck
agree,
on,
man.
man.
I agree. As soon as I saw the thumbnail about the whole situation about FIFA and the World Cup shit, I get it. That there is a World Cup, but that does not mean you have the right to freaking blast it on people's channel that they didn't even make. Like, what the fuck?
And as for the sad part, have you seen the movie Lilo and Stitch?
Mm, I don't really think so.
Yeah, if you've seen the original, the voice of Lilo, Chase, passed away at the age of 35 2 days ago at the time of recording.
But that sucks.
Yeah, it's never gonna feel the same again watching the movie as an
I feel
adult.
like I'm thinking 35 is still way too young to be passing away at.
Yeah, James Earl Jones lived until 93, and that says a lot. That man is a freaking legend.
Yep.
And it still hurts to hear his voice as Darth Vader.
Oh yeah, it does. For the, I mean, for all the people that I hear on movies and in games, it does hurt to have their voices gone, but after they pass away.
Yeah,
Like
like,
no matter what movie it is, no matter what game that I like or movie I like.
and also shows. We can't forget shows.
Mhm.
And it's still 4 years later, it still hurts to hear Kevin Conroy's voice as Bruce Wayne, aka Batman. And last but not least, when it comes to what we want to talk about in episode 38, the Doom remake is having its 10th anniversary this year.
Yeah.
And to think that we were talking about Doom a couple of minutes to an hour ago, I find it insane that the remake is having its 10th anniversary. And with the chronological order, with how it goes Dark Ages, because of it being a prequel to the 2016 game, to Eternal, I honestly hope that we get a sequel to Eternal someday, which it
Mhm.
feels nice to see that. And if we get a Red Dead Redemption 3, I hope it's a sequel to Red Dead Redemption 1, given that 2 is a prequel to 1.
The thing is, like what Rockstar always did, that they always put on console first before PC.
Yeah, that is a good point.
which kind of frustrates me that they're not going to put it on PC at the same time as console. But if you think about it, PC has a lot of configurations and parts. So
Yeah, that
I
is a
guess,
fair point.
yeah. So I guess, I mean, it's still, even though it's an understandable reason, it still kind of frustrates me because I really want to play it without having to buy a whole new console that is most likely going to be collecting dust all the time unless I want to play the game that I'm excited for. I mean, I could play on my dad's PlayStation, but I'm not gonna move it to my room, and I am not gonna play a game. I mean, I'm not gonna buy the game with my own money and put it into a console that's not fully mine.
Yeah, that is a fair point.
And if my dad wants to buy it, great. My dad and I can play it if he wants to.
Yeah, and from when we were doing 24 hours together part 1, it did suck that we were not able to play Street Fighter 6 because of an issue that your PlayStation was having.
Yeah.
And I will say this much, when we get to the Spirit Halloween in person, there will no questions asked be of a vlog on my IRL channel. But I
Mhm.
usually let the recording do the talking if I'm gonna be 100% honest, which I'm not, sca- which I'm not scared to do this shit. I just do this shit for the fun.
Mhm. And um, speaking of videos, there's one time I'm making B-roll shots for the computer I have laying around using this extra phone. But it turns out the quality isn't as good as my iPhone, which is actually what you get for a cheaper Android phone, of course. But one thing I'm thinking about getting is a dedicated camera that has a bigger screen than my GoPro, just so I can see what my filming better, without having to worry about my videos being in the same place of where my pictures are at.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, it sucks that B didn't make it to this episode, which next time I see him, I'm yelling at him because, like what John and I said, he and I have all the rights to be pissed at him for not answering our calls when we agreed to record at 7 p.m.
Yep. And the camera that I'm thinking about buying is I'm going to the used market, of course, and it's a Sony NEX3N camera. Or NEX3. It's actually this camera, which I can change the lens if I want to.
Yeah, the camera that I want is in my throne. And when it comes to our Dungeons and Dragons campaign, we are having session 31 on the 28th instead of this Sunday because of it being Father's Day.
Hmm.
So if
Oh
you
wait,
don't
and
see
also,
me Sunday, that's the reason on to why.
and well, speaking of that, the plans has changed a little bit. Instead of the 28th, I'll be leaving. My mom said, my mom and my dad said that I'm leaving on the 30th. So I will hope, I will for sure, hopefully, be in the D&D if my parents doesn't have plans on that Sunday.
Yeah, that's fair. And like what we said, I'm sure that you'll be gone for 2 weeks, so it's safe to say that you're not going to be there after episode 39.
Hmm. But if I end up making it to the episodes during this 2 weeks, then you will see a completely different background behind me by the time I'll be there. If that's only if nothing is happening around me and my parents are just watching TV.
Yeah, and you want to know a smart strategy that I have in my mind?
But
For in case if we for in case if we're all on a hiatus for 2 months from recording the podcast episode, what if we have the next few episodes for September and October ready to go ahead of time? To where
that's an
we
even That's
Yeah.
an even better idea
Yeah,
because
I think that's a good idea because we could do one episode recording per week, and then boom, shaka laka, we are good to go. And then we'll be back swinging in November. And if you guys are on board
uh,
for that idea, we would be 100% be down to do that. In the meantime, thank you for watching episode 38 of the All Things Nerdy podcast. It was just the Floridian boys, John, aka Blind Tech, and Jason, aka Samaroni, for this episode. Thank you all for watching this episode of the podcast. We appreciate you all, and we will see you in episode 39 in collaboration with Midnight Moonflower. See ya.
yeah.